What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm out here on the west coast of Vancouver Island today, missioned way out into the middle of nowhere, and I got a special episode for you today. We're gonna go explore one of my old trails that I built back in 2015 for Builder Movie. It's actually just a big random jump line in an old forest. Pretty sick. So let's get out there, and I can't wait to give you guys a walkthrough and show you some scale because it's some really big stuff through massive trees. Okay, I'm out at where the trail is now and we're trying to find it. It's been a few years since I've been out here and they've graded this logging road multiple times. And yeah, it's pretty impossible to find at this point, but it's in that amazing forest to the side of us right there. Oh, I recognize it now. Okay, so that big old growth fir is the tree hip. Like looks like you can tree tap the stump or the tree, but then you can like jump beside it. So that's right there. And then everything else is just over a bit more. We finally found the spot. This is one of the first hits I built out here. This isn't the actual jump line, but I wanted a nice big photogenic tree to build a hip jump off of. And the idea was like to leave as much of the big old growth untouched as possible. It's a nice open canopy here, so I didn't have to really dig up a lot of organic off the ground, and I didn't want a tree tap or anything. So the idea was to have like a 90-degree hip that goes down the hill right against this huge old growth. This tree's insane, hey? It's like one of my favorite trees in this whole forest. So big. And yeah, this is like when I was pretty new to building stunts with a chainsaw. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just use a bunch of deadfall and cut up rounds to make a lip. Not the most efficient way of building, but it's kind of how we did everything out here. So it's cool to see old lines like this, and it makes me realize how much I've actually progressed in my trail building skills. And I'm surprised, like we threw this together in like a couple hours years ago and it's still standing kinda. Just needs some fresh dirt on top. So when Margus Briga shot the photo here, he climbed way up this tree right here, the smaller one that goes beside the big main one. And then I always thought it'd be funny if you had a jump snipe right between the two trees. Imagine that. Looks like the jump line lives on. We're at the top here, and this is like the very top of the elevation. And there's a bit of hill up to the road behind me, but it doesn't go a lot further. And we worked with what we had, small space, but pretty amazing. There's like huge old growth everywhere. Half the big old growth trees are dead, and that's what I kind of built the jumps close to, but they look super cool. We have like one at the bottom that had a big lightning strike go through it. There's another big hollow stump at the bottom. So yeah, let's walk through this. And this stuff's all pretty big, so we can show you from multiple angles and give things some scale. Yeah, here's the run in for the first jump. Pretty steep and loose, just straight fall line and rocky up top here actually. And then you go into the first step down, which is quite large. And it's kind of a snipe too. There's like a big tree on the rider's left down there. And then to the right, there's two trees that snipe really close before that next big lip. Standing on the lip now, I'd say this gap is about, I don't know, 25, 30 feet, and maybe 12 feet down or so. So it's pretty sizable. And like I said, it's a bit of a snipe between trees, and it's a nice speed gap. So you just kind of pop off this step down, and it's a lot slower than you think it'll be. And then the landing, so I'll get down the landing to give you a sense of scale. That's the lip up there. This is the knuckle of the landing right here. There's a pretty big tree falling on it right now. And then what's gnarly about this setup jump isn't just the size of it and the run in, but the run in for the next hit, because you literally have like barely any time to stop. You have to like basically drag your brake and then let go right before that lip, because it comes up quick. And although that next jump's really big, you have like a ton of speed from this little step down here, or big step down. I guess it's not that small at all really. All right, here's the next takeoff. Not too tall, but I forgot how long this thing is. It's like, that gap's probably at least 40 feet at least. It's a reach, and well, it's not really a reach. You have a lot of speed, but it's long. I remember the first time I hit it at this length, it was super intimidating because it started off with being a little shorter. So if you look down here behind the stack of logs, the logs are about 7 feet or higher off the backside, and where the bush kind of ends down there is where the gap used to be. So we pushed the gap back about 6 or 7 feet from the original size it was in Builder Movie, and now it's really long. This was really intimidating the first few hits, but it works well. Like if you just commit to it, the speed is there. But let's get a side profile just to give you some scale of the actual size of this gap. Okay, so John's filming the takeoff right now. You can see it way down there. And then panning over to me, I'm standing on the top edge of the landing. And as you can see, it is pretty long. Like I said, at least a 40-foot gap. I would say even longer. And then the gnarly thing is this landing is covered in stuff right now, but this landing is not very long. I've easily overshot it and landed like front wheel in the bottom to flat, basically. And that's a pretty harsh take, a pretty harsh landing. It's gnarly. So it's a really committing line, really fast, and it kind of scales down from here, but it's still pretty gnarly. I just can't get over this forest. It's so beautiful in here, like wide open forest floor, mossy, massive trees everywhere. This tree is still alive against this lip here, and look at the size of this thing. It's just so big. This is the bottom section of the second big jump. So as you can see, it gets flat really quick. And when I was originally digging out here, it was definitely a struggle keeping it dry because I'm essentially on a marsh right here. But I'm surprised, like just stomping on it now, it's pretty hard pack. It's not too wet. And that's really surprising because we've had a lot of snow this winter. So I guess now that this is like 6 years old, it's really settling in nicely. And that's a good sign. So it makes me, again, really stoked to get back here, clean this up. And it's cool because it transitions from like a pretty short landing off a really gnarly gap where you have to snipe it perfectly. And then you just like hold as much speed as you can through this flat section because you really need it for the next shark fin here right against this tree. You really have to like push through to clear this. But I have a feeling now that this is like older and all settled in, it'll roll a lot faster. So that's another thing. I could boost this up like this high and make it even more trickable than it ever was. For a point of reference, that's the takeoff right beside the big tree behind me. Where is it? Yeah, right there. And then I'm standing on the landing here. And this thing is like barely together anymore. It's like all the dirt's washed off. It's just a pile of stumps. And that's it. It ends really soon. That's all the line is. It's just 3 hits in a row. Pretty sick though. This took us a week to build with a big crew of guys originally. We just hammered through it for Builder Movie. And a lot of big deadfall trees in the way we had to cut out of the way. It was a pretty gnarly mission. A lot of work, but we have a really cool line that's just like sitting here. We got like the skeleton for something really rad that can be fixed up. And just looking at this forest is so sick. There's like wide open forest floor, like I said before, a lot of material to work with. And the grade is amazing. It's a short elevation, but you can like just do all sorts of stunts all over the place, which is pretty inspiring. And the most epic part of the whole trail, it ends with a giant tree that's a hollow stump inside. So imagine this is a frame. This is what you're looking at with the rider in the opening. That'd be so cool. The only problem is it'd be pretty impossible to build because you'd have to make it like, so you could air like 30 feet over top of that thing. And then you have a giant hillside, like just, it's basically like a vertical bank behind me right down to the river, and that's it. And yeah, that's all I did because I ran out of room after that. I do have some footage from an unreleased project out here where we did run a cable cam basically directly over top of my head here. It went to the rider's left of the whole line, went all the way down there past that last jump and kind of ended right before the bank drops really steep. And that was a crazy shot. Like that was like an all-day cable cam setup, but it really showed the scale of these jumps, and it makes me want to come back in here so badly, clean this up, add a few more features. I think that's gonna be into my next project later this year. Once I'm done in the other line, I'll come over back to this forest, come back out here, and it's a mission, but it's totally worth it. This place is just so scenic and so amazing. I'm already running things through my mind on what I would build if I came back in here again. And I think what I would do is, first of all, on the huge gap in the middle here, I would build up the rider's left corner of this landing, make it way taller, way longer, steeper, way more speed. Then I could build up that big shark fin at the back and make that a lot bigger. Then I can build a step down at the very top even bigger, and maybe work with that flatter terrain at the very top and make everything just a bit longer, have some more flow, maybe a few berms. Now I've had a lot more experience building and I have more creative ideas going through my mind other than just big jumps. There could be a lot more rad stuff in here. So let me know what you guys think. I think it'd be awesome to do a little build series out here, maybe just over a few episodes, clean this up and film it and make it radder than it's ever been. Let me know. All right, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another one real soon. Thanks everyone. Peace.